What's up, everybody? Unrested here. I'm going old school with this video, and I'm walking and talking into the camera. It's been a super rainy day. You can probably tell by the streets behind me. It's been raining all day, so I didn't get that extra video I usually put in to make my JFAQ, so it's just going to be me talking old school style into the camera, blocking off all the beautiful scenery. Instead, you got to look at my big, bald, shiny head instead. Sorry, I apologize. So, let's jump right into it. Our topic for today, let me introduce myself. I'm Unrested with the questions you requested. This is JFAQ, Japan's frequently asked questions. And today we are talking about something Victor, Give Me a Break Man, Give Me a Flake Man, brought up recently that I myself wanted to bring up because it kind of involves my own career as an artist. The Olympic sign that was made by a design company here in Japan for the 2020 Olympics has turned out to be a complete plagiarism. And as Victor went over, there is actually no word in the Japanese language for plagiarism. There is a word for mimicry and looks like, I think, is the two closest words that they have that come close to saying plagiarism, but there isn't actually plagiarism. And it's kind of interesting when I talk to some Japanese people about this. They are kind of, you know, and it's not people who are like, you know, hardcore nationalistic Japanese people saying Japan never does anything wrong, but they're kind of just confused as to like why people are so bent out of shape by this. Like why Belgium went out of their way to be like, hey dude, you copied our design, which this guy obviously copied this design. I mean, check out, you can easily check out the dimensions, the design. This guy stole this design 100%, and I'm gonna back that up later. You know, there could be some questions. Some people might be like, hey, maybe he was just unlucky. He thought of kind of some of the same things. But let me go through my whole video, and I'm gonna kind of back it up because I actually called Victor. He called me today, and we discussed this really in depth. Like, we're like, well, you know, he's innocent until proven guilty, and that's what we should believe. And he's not really truly been proven guilty in a court of law, and that's very true. Only the court in my head has proven him guilty, and that's because, like I said, I work as an artist, and one of the first things they tell you when you get into art school, and I remember my friends who went to film school heard some of the same stuff. They said, all throughout your career, you will meet and greet and make friends and acquaintances with people who will take your stuff, who will take claim of your stuff, who will say that they did the stuff that you did, or copy the stuff that you did and call it their own. And they said, let them do that, because one day they will get found out. One day, you know, their luck will run out for copying and taking your credit for the stuff that you've designed. You know, don't make a bad name for yourself by, I guess, making a big scene or drama about someone stealing your stuff. Their day will come. And I guess that's what you just saw here, was this guy's been copying stuff for a while now. Because here's the thing, that's what kind of backs up my claim that I'm 100% sure that this guy's copying this artwork from Belgium. And if you guys don't know exactly what I'm talking about, it's the 2020 Olympic sign for Japan. Go take a look at it. It looks like a T with a circle next to it. The circle is a red circle that represents Japan's flag. The T obviously represents Tokyo because we're having the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. And then of course there's some other spatial design type stuff. Then go back and look at the Belgium one. From what I can tell, I think it's supposed to be like an L, so it's pretty much almost like flipped version of it. It's a T as well, and it's got the same exact angles, shapes, everything. I mean, even the voided out space is the same. You're just gonna have to go Google both of these, compare them, and I think you're gonna have to agree. You're gonna say, you know, it's not an exact copy, but it's most definitely taken from that. And some people might say to me too, like, Scott, you know, sometimes when poets write poetry, they find out later they've, you know, copied a line from another poem because it's been remembered in their head, but they didn't know they actually read it somewhere else. And the same thing happens with art too, but here's the thing. His company's been caught multiple times copying other works from all around the world, not just Belgium or anything like that. They're going all over the world and copying tons of stuff. They've been taken to court before. They've gotten in big trouble before. They recently had some kind of like beer label that they copied, and they got in big trouble for that. They just settled out of court, I think. And there's been multiple cases at this point, and so this isn't like their first time. This isn't like, oops, we've been doing this for ages and we've never had this kind of mix-up. I can't believe this has happened, my bad. Because the guy did apologize. He said like, oh, I'm definitely gonna take this down, but he made it so much like I'm the victim. He's like, my family's being harassed and their images are being put online, and I just, as a human being, I can't take this anymore. It's like, who put you in that situation? Did Belgium call you up and say, hey, you know what? I want to say Belgium. I want to say like the Japanese pronunciation of it because it sounds more authentic, I guess. Did they call you up and say, hey, you need to totally copy our symbol so later we can call you up and call you out on this? No, you totally, I mean, you looked it up, you know, maybe you did totally remember it and, you know, accidentally copy it from your memory. And even if you did that, just admit it, just say like, dude, I 100% fucked up. And instead he's trying anything and everything to get out of this. He's saying stuff like, well, you know, I'm the manager of the company and my underlings did this and I didn't even check it out till later and find out later that they had copied it. I would have never approved this had I known. But then later it was found out that he himself actually made this design, that his underlings had nothing to do with it. And so now he's trying to like backroll that and backpedal on that and be like, well, I mean, you know, I'm just saying that my family's being harassed a lot and so I'm just going to take it down for that. I didn't actually copy anything. I'm just going to take it down because I don't want to see my family harassed. And it's like, dude, just say, I fucked up. I messed up. I copied. Okay, I mean, and you can tell this guy's got zero talent. Day number 1 of design class, some of the stuff they teach you is blue is the most easy to sell color in the world. Green is one of the hardest. That's why you usually find green cars for cheaper at the dealership. Number 2, don't put red on top of black. It is painful for the eye to read. That's why you never see anybody's business card that is black with red text on top of it. And if they have done that, they are a horrible business person, or the card company that made it is a horrible card design company. And yes, I have seen it before, and yes, it's very hard to read. If you look at the 2 different signs that he's made, the Olympic and the Paralympic sign, there is red on black there. And obviously a huge mistake, not a good design. In general, I mean, just the colors, it's like puke yellow with black, with some puke green. It's just, it looks horrible. I think we can all agree. It's a pretty atrocious looking symbol. And the worst part about it is he's taking it from another place and trying to make it his own. And actually the guy who he stole it from wasn't even going to press charges. He wasn't going to try and attack him on this. He said, you know, it's the Olympics, they're a giant machine, I can't attack them. But his company that he works for was so outraged that someone had stolen his design, they stood up for him and contacted international lawyers to go after this guy to finally shut them down and take down the signs, and, you know, otherwise they would have had to pay him a huge amount of court costs. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. Working as an artist, you see this kind of thing happen all the time. Yes, I've had stuff of my own copied and stolen. I've never actually had to call anybody out. I have had a point though where other viewers and readers of another book that was published by a sister company of the one I worked for did call out that artist, and that book was removed from, I guess, whatever you'd say, like their list of barcoded items. Anyway, guys, just a real quick one here. I'm going to wrap it up. I got to go pick up my son. You guys have a great one. I'm unrested with the questions you requested. This is JFAQ, Japan's frequently asked questions. Have a good one.